I'm not scared of dying. I know what comes after here. I've been there before, so it's fine. Like, there's no problems.
Don't matter if they're not believers. It don't matter what their belief is. They're going to understand because you make that happen.
Do you really think they made you who you are today, and without that, you'd probably still be doing the same things?
I believe that if that wouldn't have happened to me, I would have probably not even been here right now.
Why remember all that stuff if the lesson per se was to become a better man? You learn from those experiences. What do they matter at the end of the day?
I kept fighting it because I wanted to go to population.
They don't look at it for what it is. They just see what you want them to see.
That's given me the opportunity to be a great man and succeed.
The only thing I can do is to learn from those experiences, take those experiences for what they are, see what I did well, what I did wrong, and what do I have to learn.
This is the Nico Lagan Show. Frankly, motivation is bullshit. What you need is discipline, and your mindset is the difference between success and failure. Warning. Warning. This show contains explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Real, raw, and shooting you straight. This is the Nico Lagan Show. And now your host, Nico.
Welcome to another episode of the Nico Lagan Show. Today is going to be a special one. I got to say that I've been looking forward to this one. AJ and I don't know each other. AJ Kano is with us, and I destroyed his name. I knew I would, but AJ, what's going on, brother?
It's just another day in paradise, brother. Here in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, we are in El Paso. We are in your house, and I think it's interesting how we met. We were in church, of all places, and I saw AJ sitting. He was sitting on the same bench as us, except at the total opposite. I looked at Josie, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to this guy.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah, when we finished the service, I stood up, and I went to talk to him. And do you remember what I asked you?
You said, where did you get your faith from? Is that what you said?
Yep. Where does your faith come from?
Where does your faith come from? Yeah, man. And what did I say?
Well, funny enough, you said, and I'm going to paraphrase because those are not your exact words, but you said that you acquired them over 2 years, that you acquired your faith over your words were, I acquired my faith over 2 years of isolation. I'm like, yeah, okay, that guy was in prison. Basically, let's call a spade a spade. That guy went to prison, and that's where he acquired his faith. And you know what? I had that feeling. Just looking at you, we're both covered in tattoos. We're both muscular. We both look like a certain type of individual. But it's the look. There's a look in your face that you don't fuck around. Like, there's a look in your face that I can tell that you're a man. You've made mistakes. We all do. But there's a look in your face that you're a real man. Like, you're not a pussy like we see today. You're a man.
I agree.
And I saw it in your eyes, and I'm like, man, if I can get that guy to talk to me, I'm ready to bet that his story is just fucking incredible.
Yes, in some ways it is, and I appreciate, first of all, for you coming down to my home. It was interesting. It was interesting because this actually happened at church, right?
Yeah,
which is who sees two people like us, right there, listening to gospel and just with family and kids. It's like, damn. Mm-hmm. But the first thing that I said when and it was, you caught me off guard because I thought you were just gonna be like, hey, don't I know you? But when he's like, where did you get your faith from? I said I had to dig deep inside into my spirit to find out, and it took me 2 years of isolation in order for me to be this person. And yeah, man, it takes a lot of courage to be, like you say, a man. A lot of people nowadays, I mean, not to disrespect anybody, it's funny how now it's the victim that's being more valued than the actual manhood of what we represent, And a lot of time people might think like, oh, he goes to church, he's a weak man. No, in reality, you're just being true. As long as you're true to yourself, then everything else will come to what respectfully belongs to you. Journey. I told you, we got to take her out to the movies.
There's nothing like having a very deep conversation and you hear the dog drinking water in the background. But you're saying something, I want you to continue on this because you're saying something that is absolutely true. Because, one of the reasons we were in church is I'm trying to figure out a way how to bring faith in people's life.
Right.
I'm not a religious person, but I'm a very spiritual person. And like we were talking before the podcast when we went to grab beer earlier, I don't believe in the dogma of religion. I don't believe in the you must believe this or else. I don't believe that I need church in order for me to talk to God, because I talk to God 2, 3, 4 times a day, and it's a direct conversation between him and me. Yeah. But the community that is behind some churches is incredible. And that's why Josie and I wanted to go. Okay. And this kind of proves my point. So I believe that it takes a strong man in order to go to church and to admit that he's faulty, to admit that he's done a lot of mistakes, to admit that he needs to change, he needs to be better for himself, his family, his community. But it takes a very strong individual to admit that they have problems and to be ready to face those problems. So if, as I saw a man that was once broken, but that is working on building himself, just like a bone. When you break your bones, yes, it hurts during a certain amount of time. You can't use it the way you're supposed to be able to. But one thing that most people don't realize is when your bone actually heals, the calcium deposit that covers the bone, that repairs the bone, makes that break harder, makes that break stronger. So this is just like, it's the perfect metaphor for your life. Did you do dumb shit when you were younger? We all have. You did more than the average person. We'll agree with that. And hopefully you'll get to share, you want to share this story with us. But this, to me, I saw a strong man, because I saw a man that is faulty, but a man that is ready to do the work in order to become better for him, his family, and the people that he loves.
Yeah. And I must agree. So it does take a lot at first to accept. Mm-hmm. To accept. You have to face your demons, right? So,
yeah.
And sometimes I guess that's why people keep being, how do you say, you keep wearing that mask. We got to realize that the day we were born, that's not who we are. That's what society made us. When we come into this world, right? I'm not the most intelligent person. I just go based upon what I feel, the wisdom from the Lord. I actually had to believe that there was something higher than me. That God or whatever we say created us in such perfection. It's unbelievable to say. Are we just poof? We're here.
Yep.
We're live action. That just doesn't happen. So I believe that we were created in a special form, but once we were in this world, everything is created by our surroundings. From the higher power of earth, like saying, your dad gave you your name, your mom, your last name, this. So, and then you don't do this, you do that, and then there's law, and then there's school. So in reality, with all this kind of teaching, you never really discover your true self until you're more mature and say, or you keep on going like a zombie, or you say, nah, there's something not right here. There's got to be something deeper. I'm more than this. I've been learning all these things, but at the same time, you've always been uncomfortable. And then now you're intimidated because now you don't want to show your true self, because what are they going to say? Especially like if you're from the barrio or from a type of social You know, like your friends, no, I can't do this because then they're going to laugh at me or this. So until the moment that you really actually come into senses with yourself and God, as for me, that's when your rehabilitation begins. Then you start pinpointing your faults, you know, how to actually face them, what can you do with them, and then how to keep progressing, you know, who to trust. I mean, I can't trust, man, everybody betrayed me, but we'll go deeper into that. But who was really there? You know, mom, dad. I mean, whoever you had in that circle. So now you start really appreciating what was always there, but you really didn't take it too hard, because what you wanted to do was actually show the people in the streets or your friends or whatever, no, it's not true. It's pretty. Once you fall into a situation where it's either incarceration or somewhere where you're really alone. Like I always told my fiance, I told her, people don't have to go to prison to find themselves. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's not true. Like it's not cool. It's a waste of life. You see people in there that are like, if you think you're crazy.
No, I'm not that crazy.
No, like us, like
we're not crazy. Well, not that.
I
crazy.
mean, we're not that crazy. There's people and you know what? I've talked to murderers in there, and because I'm very curious, so I always ask, hey, why'd you kill that dude? You know what most of them say? I didn't want to kill him, bro. I didn't want to kill him. It just happened in the act. Those couple seconds, stabbed them with shot. Now they're serving 50 years, 60 years over something that just happened, and you could see their grief, you know. And I'm like, so when I was in it, I was like, okay, that's it. I don't plan to be here for the rest of my life. Like, unfortunately, those guys are, you know. But at the same time, I found salvation. See, God, that's what I think. God saved me in such a way where, so I got arrested. And then because of my, how they call it, I fit the criteria of a gang member.
Yeah, sure.
They isolated me because I was a threat.
Yep.
In population. So I'm like, bro, like, you have no backup. But I kept fighting it because I wanted to go to population. We call it popcorn.
Yeah. I didn't want to be alone.
Nah, like, I want to go, you know, chill. But at the same time, they just kept. So I'm like, I'm going to let it go. Well, that first year, that's how I started realizing who I was, because you're 24 hours a day by yourself for a whole year.
Nobody else than you and your demons.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, so that's where I started discovering who I was, my surround. I really, really, really dissected the person that I was and the person that I was becoming just in that little moment. And like they say, you need that silence. Mm-hmm. You need that silence in order for you to start really, really paying attention in the moment of who you really are. And that's my salvation right there. That year right there, I said, you know what? I'm not a gang member. Don't plan to be a gang member. This is who I am. I'm here for rehabilitation. They gave me a 15-year sentence. And I said, 15. 1-5. Thank God I only did six years or a little bit more, because they gave me parole here in Texas. So that was just a privilege in itself.
So you did less than half the time, just a tiny bit over a third.
Yeah. So that's like, it looked like a bad thing that happened to me, but at the same time, it was more of a salvation. You know, it was more of a purifying my body, purifying my mind, purifying my surroundings. Got rid of friends. Got rid of friends.
Of course. Got
rid of bad habits. You know, I got in tune with myself. I really started appreciating life for what it is. You know, it's crazy how we just wake up and you think you're gonna be here forever. Like, today I'm gonna do this, tomorrow I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna buy this, and it's not true. So everything now, how I live, is in appreciation. Whether it be work, just conversating with people like you, your lady. You know, it's now everything that I see, it's a cause. It's for a cause.
There's
the
a
good or the
reason
bad,
behind
yes.
it.
For the good or the bad, there's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
In anything. So that's how, like now, bad temperaments and all that hostility that I used to be, it's not even, it doesn't, it back then, with the lifestyle that you live in the streets, you have to create fear for your surroundings so that people at least have a second thought if they're gonna really come attack you.
There's consequences.
Yes. But now you're a free man. Now I'm out. I don't owe nobody nothing. People who betrayed me, everything's gone. So then it's like the Lord permitted me to start over. Here you go. Get out of jail free, how they say.
Yeah, get out. It's a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, and started. And my mom, she's a Christian, so she would say, "Mijo, God has something for you, man. God has something for you." And you know, at the same time, you want to hear it because it's kind of unnerving. Like, is it real? Like, is it real, man? Mom, you tripping? No, it's. So when you really feel it at heart, now I talk to her every morning. Mom, God bless you. How you doing, mijo? What you doing? Ready to go to work? You know, have a great day. And now those words are real to me. You know, because now I connect more with who I am, and now I gotta find the purpose. You know, like.
Would you say that looking back, you've been out for 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you trade that 6 years? Would you looking back and talking the way you're talking right now, the fact that your faith is helping you make sense of what you were, what you are, and what you're becoming. You understand that you're here for a reason. You might not have figured out what it is yet, but you know you have a purpose. You know there's a reason for you to be here. Would you change those 6 years in prison? If you could erase them, would you erase them, or did you accept them? And do you really think they made you who you are today? And without that, you'd probably still be doing the same things?
Quite honestly, like right now, how I speak,
Yeah.
I even surprised myself because I speak a lot of Spanish. That's why my English is sometimes
is good.
very.
So you're talking to a French guy.
Yeah,
right?
but look, check this out. You know how I got like this? I started reading. Because, I mean, you have a lot of time in your hands, especially in isolation. So what do? You start, and it's a fact. When you start reading, your mind just starts.
Of course.
Wow, it's a beautiful thing. And so I learned how to smile in there. Yeah, I didn't, like, there's a lot of things that you don't know how to do. And they're so simple. Because back then you were that.
You have an image to
gangster.
keep.
Yeah, so you, don't get near me. You know, like, because the same, you're protecting yourself and vice versa.
But would you change those years?
I would definitely not, man. I couldn't do it because I believe that if that wouldn't have happened to me, I would have probably not even been here right now. It got so hostile that it was getting pretty ugly. And I believe that I wouldn't be here right now if my own friends wouldn't have done this to me. I wouldn't have been here right now. So I actually, and you know what I did when I got out, one of them in specific, I texted him and I told him, you know what, don't worry about me. I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to look for you. Your decision was your decision.
Yep.
And let it go. You know, God bless you. I told him, you do what you got to do. I'm about to begin my life. So just because a lot of people did fear me in the streets. I was very bad. So I didn't want him to be, oh man, he's going to look for me and retaliate for whatever he did, you know? And God bless, you know, I haven't seen them. And if I do see them, you know, I'm worth more than to go back and what street, how did they say it? That you get back at them.
Yeah. Revenge is not worth it.
It's not, man. I got my daughters back. I mean, they're old now, but they're still mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, got me a grandson. My mom and dad are still alive. I mean, I couldn't change. Yes, those years were taken from me, but I believe that that's given me the opportunity to be a great man and succeed. Now, success is in any age. So I don't count like, oh, I've lost 11 years of my life in there. And, now I'm like, you know what? Now I got to provide what I can provide and be a success. So now I give myself goals, and what I do with my mind is all those times in prison, because I've seen a lot of bad things in there. My lady sometimes tell me, you don't remember things? And I'm like, I do, but your mind is like a computer. It's like a memory card. And what I do to myself is anything that is not of value, I discharge it. I delete. Because I don't need those memories to keep playing in my mind over and over,
There's a do you know Jordan Peterson?
Man, he's awesome.
Jordan Peterson. So I have a very bad memory for certain things. For some reason, there's things that happen to me that I don't remember. Somebody will talk about it. I'm like, oh shit, I haven't thought about this forever. I remember. But I have a phenomenal memory for some things, and for some things it's horrendous. I never remember. And I was listening to one of his videos, and he explains that the way your mind will work is that if you had an experience, good or bad, you pull what you had to learn from that experience, and that experience per se does not have any value anymore. Because if you can look at your life in a way where it's lessons, everything that happens, I believe that everything happens for a reason. You and I meeting is not a coincidence. You going to prison was your way to find God, to be better, to become a better person. That was the way you had to do it. That was your penance.
Yes.
That was the way you were supposed to learn. Why remember all that stuff if the lesson per se was to become a better man? You learn from those experiences. What do they matter at the end of the day? And that's how Jordan Peterson explained it. And this, to me, made so much sense. Because all the bad in my life, I don't live in the past. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, you can't.
What can I change?
Nothing. A damn thing.
The only thing I can do is to learn from those experiences,
exactly.
Take those experiences for what they are, see what I did well, what I did wrong, and what do I have to learn, and how do I get better from those experiences. Delete that experience because now I hold the knowledge that makes me better.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how.
But this is how it should be. So you saying that, it's completely complete. To me, makes 100% sense. That's how people should be.
Yeah.
Because people live in the past now. Like you look at a lot of people. Most people live in two places, either the past or in the future. So they're super anxious about the future, and they're really scared about the past. Like they're traumatized by their past, and they're anxious about their futures.
Yeah.
Because they can't embrace their past for what it is. They haven't made peace with what they've become, or at least what they were. And then they're nervous about the future. Both of them you don't control. I don't control the future. I could get out of here later on, go in the truck and get hit by a drunk driver and die right there.
Yep.
If this is my life, this is how I'm supposed to die, so be it.
That's it.
I'm not scared of dying. I know what comes after here. I've been there before, so it's fine. Like there's no problems. But why would I be scared of that? Why would I be scared of my future, and why would I worry about my past? Two things that I can't change.
Exactly. That's why like when people say, oh, don't do this because maybe you might get hurt. The moment you wake up, you're prone. The moment you wake up every day, you're exposing your life to death.
Absolutely.
Every single day.
You could die of a heart attack in your bed.
Yeah.
You have a heart defect that you've never known.
Never known.
And during your sleep, you die.
That's over with. Game over.
Game over.
No more Nico. We gone.
You have no control.
No. So why dread, like, over things that hasn't happened or can happen?
Or probably will never happen either.
What do they say? 90% of the things that you think about never happen.
Yep.
And that's insane.
I really want to know what happened to you. So when did you start going on a wrong path, if I could call it that way?
So as funny as it might just, and a lot of people were like, God, what are you doing, man, so young? Like I was telling your lady, I told her, till this day, I can't pinpoint
An exact moment.
or where I picked up. I don't know where I picked up my bad habits from because my dad doesn't have not one tattoo. He's not a gang member. He's the workaholic. My mother, either like, but look, check this out. When I was in 5th grade, that's why I started like, when people were like Kano.
Yeah.
I remember this incident.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, okay, check this out. So this little kid in back of me, you know, I'm Mexican, so Kano, that's my last name. Hey, Kano, okay. So he kept bullying me, man, and I'm like, socked him. Boom. And then from there, and I'm like, and then he started crying. I'll be like, nah, it's cool, man. Because I don't want to get in trouble. Right? I'm in elementary. From there on, it spiraled, man, out of control. Just violence and fighting. Try to stab a kid in 5th grade. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know. I can't pinpoint. By the age of 13, I was already arrested for selling drugs. Yeah. 13, I had my first child.
What?
Yeah.
13.
13. So
1-3. Is it your daughter that's in the...
No, that's her oldest sister. My oldest daughter is 26, the one that was in church with us.
You're 41 years old.
Yeah. So, bro.
You had your first daughter. She was born at you were 14
Well, I was
years old.
turning 14, yeah.
What?
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, like, those things that happen.
Jesus. That's
don't-
crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Shut up.
13 years old. You had a kid already.
13 years old.
Who raised him? Who raised her? Sorry.
Wow. So my ex. So we still made things work. I've always been a man since I was young. I don't know how I grew up to be at a certain age. So this is what happened. My dad would say, "Hey, you got a daughter now. So you got to start from middle school, after school, and then go work." So I had to provide. Yeah,
Yep.
I had to provide. So from selling drugs and then this, that. At 17, we had our own little apartment. I'm still trying to I'm trying to be responsible, you know, but at the same time, it's a kid raising a kid.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I didn't even, like, when they were born, they'd be like, carry her. And I'd be like, oh, no, they look too fragile. I'm good, man. Like, just let them get a couple more months in them. You know, I'm serious. And I just grabbed the little hand and be like, but I was so naive, you know. I mean, I knew no better.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I had parents, and this is what I tell my dad. And I have a dad, and it's not their fault that they didn't have the knowledge, the education to actually bring me up as a good kid. It's not their fault. I mean, they struggle whatever they struggle coming here, like I told you, with no papers, and I'm so happy that I'm a citizen, you know. So they gave me opportunity to be a great person, and the love they didn't know how, you know. So I mean, I knew no better, you know. All my family was like this, so we're all growing up thinking this is normal. This is the normal way to go, you know. So I've been thinking like this is normal till 17, arrested again. In high school, they actually expelled me for such a troublemaker that I was in high school. In middle school, I got kicked out from Northeast all the way to Central because they didn't even want me in those schools no more. And I thought it was normal. I really did think it was it's good. It's all good. I will wake up. All right, well, another school. Let's go do it. Chilling. Well, it's when I was 19. So I don't know how. I guess I just always attracted that kind of. He's got the balls to do things.
Yeah.
So I had connects of drugs from Mexico. So, hey, what's up? Boom, boom. And they knew. So I would connect people. I would connect pieces so quick. It was ridiculous. Like a little kid trying, okay, boom, I'm going to get these girls. I'm going to get this. 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds. We're making money. Everybody, and the girls are good. Nails done. And so they're like, wow, because everybody thinks it's cool. You know, and I'm like, I'm chilling. So at 19, I did get busted by the feds coming from Juarez with 325 pounds. And that was my first.
We're not talking about weed here.
Yeah, that's weed. Yeah,
Okay,
better be weed.
Okay, Jesus
No,
Christ.
it
I
was
thought you were
coke.
talking cocaine.
No,
350
cocaine.
pounds of coke. Jesus
I
Christ.
think I would be here still.
No, you'd still be in prison.
I'd still be in the feds.
Oh, bro. That's a... Damn.
But it was just, see, we live in the border. This is normal.
But 350 pounds of weed.
325 pounds.
How much space does that take?
So, not much. Not much. It's because it's double compact and in the
Yeah, it's Mexican.
in the
It's
bed.
Mexican brick.
It was pretty
I
cool.
get it.
But that was from there. I was 19 years old. So I really then, like, now that I'm 41, right? I really didn't live like a kid. I wasn't a child. I was never a child because I had the parents, I had the surroundings, I had the school. I just was never a child. And so from 19, I did the feds. By that time, I'm already, 20 years old in prison, already 21 years old, 22 years old. I'm getting tatted up. And to me, it still seems like that's me. That's normal. This is me. I'm G'd up. Get out of prison, wild, commit another felony, they give me another 3 years in the state. TDC now from Texas. Man, I used to be chaotic. It's very violent. Just picked up another charge, very physical, whatever. Got me 3 years. Got out those 3 years. This time,
How old are you now?
like right now, or when I got out?
Because
20.
you went first
19,
at 19,
20, 21, 22.
So 3 years
And then I got out for 6 months, and then boom, they gave me another 3 years.
for something. Well, they gave you for something else you did.
So I picked up another charge while being on federal probation. So I'm over here wilding out. And then now they catch me for this state charge. I finished. I don't see, state has the opportunity of parole. Feds don't. Feds, you have to do 85% of the time.
Okay.
So now I got a state charge and I have a fed probation still. So I get out the state on parole for a year and a half. Excuse me. And from there, the feds picked me up from Huntsville, Texas. You got to go. So I go back to the feds.
That's after your second 3 years?
After my second, I still had to go back.
Because you broke probation.
Because I broke federal probation. So now I'm out. Now I get out in 2005. Yeah, I'm telling you, boy. That's the first time I rode an airplane. I said, damn.
To go to prison.
Yeah, handcuffed in there. That's it.
It was a regular airplane?
So the feds, they confiscate. They confiscate airplanes and they use them for transportation. Yeah, they fly us the feds, man. It's money. There's so much money in there. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
So by now 19, 23. So you're like 23 now.
So when I get out the feds in 2005, I'm 25.
But you did 19 to 22, then 6 months. So you were out, you were like 25, 26.
2005 I was 25. And from there, I'm already...
So 19 to 25, you were out 6 months.
Yeah.
All that 6 years was spent in jail.
That's it. Somewhere.
You had a kid at 13.
At 13.
You caught your first charge at 19.
Yeah.
Second one at 23, 22.
Somewhere around there.
Then now you're 25, you say?
When I'm out. Now, when I'm really out, yeah. 25. I burned
So-
parole. So we call
broke
this
parole?
you burn a number.
Okay.
So burning a number means by me picking up the violation, they burned my probation. And by me coming out on parole and going to pay the feds, so now I'm free.
Okay. Free to do whatever you want.
That's it. So from 25, then
Did you continue doing what you were doing?
Yeah.
You went right back at it?
right back at it. Got
So-
a little bit bigger and a little bit smarter. And from there, 9 years. From there, 9 years out till 2000. Man, I'm real bad with numbers. 2014.
So you
That's when they raided me here.
So you continue doing this. So what happened during that 9 years? Because I feel that now you're more of a man at that age. You've done 2 sentences in prison, so you know what the game's about.
Yeah.
You understand what the consequences of your actions are, and for you to continue doing it, you just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking do this shit."
So what happens is, when you fall into that kind of lifestyle, you don't really think about it. Everybody knows that you have the potential. It's a business, right?
You're not a snitch first.
No.
They know they can trust you. You're not going to snitch on them. So they trust you.
They know that you're solid. You got connects, you got plugs.
And you have the balls to go to prison.
Yeah. So, I mean, right there, you're already in the mix. And then I've always controlled, like, I've always been the one that manages, you know, the streets or this, that. Not in a very, like, flashy type of way, but
fair.
At the same time, it's like any business. You got to treat the business so it gives you have to give.
Of course.
It's a must.
Yeah.
Because everybody sees you growing, and there's always going to be that certain people there. Hey, envy.
Yeah, of course. There are haters.
Always.
If you don't have haters, that means you're not successful.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, and that's how I ended up back in prison.
Yeah.
And my dad and a lot of people would tell me, be careful. Be careful. There's a lot of people that envy you. A lot of people.
Oh, they're gonna snitch. You mean?
But that's exactly what happened. That's why it's like me. I always say this in a funny way. I say, man, look, in like I say, I didn't fall because I was dumb about my game. It's just people put me out there because they fell. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, not to be like a clown, but I was handling my business right. But when you start getting into a mix, see, when money and then greed, and then you get another kind of opportunity to make more money. So then that business was not mine. I had what I was doing, like I told you, cocaine or whatnot, you know. So then I was offered this because again they knew that
you were solid.
Yeah. So I started moving numbers, boom, boom. Now we got a whole organization of, I don't know if I could say it. I mean, I don't know if I can't get in trouble or whatnot, you know? Because I already paid my sentence. So we were pulling heists. Basically, we're stealing semis. $500,000 semis.
The truck itself.
The truck itself.
Not what contains the truck.
Oh, what contains it.
Yeah. So you stole both. What was in the container, what was in the truck.
Everything had to go. So we were black marketing, and then I was doing the cocaine business. So basically, we're greed, and then
it's like Mexican mafia. It's like the Italians did. So it's Mexican mafia. Oh man, that's interesting. Yeah.
So now I had. I mean, it was good. I mean, there was a lot of money involved. A lot, like in a week. But I had a lot of people too. And I knew it in my heart. It was getting too big that eventually somebody was gonna break. It's like in the Bible, what's his name, Judas?
Yeah.
That trade, I knew it. I didn't see in that type of business. You just keep going till it pops because there's no stopping it. You can't say
you're not gonna quit.
You can't quit. You know, it's impossible. You can't quit, or you can get bit in the butt, or you know. So it's just kept the ball rolling, and sure enough, when it all, I didn't even expect it because everything had stopped 2 years prior of the heists. So I'm like, we're good.
What do you mean everything stopped?
So when we did the last theft, like I would tell them, look, that's it, no more. Y'all do what y'all gotta do. I'm out because that wasn't my job. My thing was the cocaine business. Yeah. This was just pocket change per se.
You like the rush too, obviously.
Man, that's exactly what Undercovers told me.
You were calling me an adrenaline junkie earlier. It takes one to know one, motherfucker. Yeah.
Hey, the Undercover told me, you don't do it for the fucking money. And I'm like,
not if you have a business that makes more money.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're doing it because you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, he told me. Hey, I'm telling you, that game it's a trip. But that moment, and it's crazy how people think. So one of the persons who actually snitched on me, right? I had already talked to everybody, whatnot. So they start finding my name in a lot of things. They were pointing at me, and then they were like, I would sell. I sold my quads, trucks. And I would tell them, change the title. So it all started like, and everybody say, no, but that's the cocaine. Like I have my discovery, my sister had, so it's everything. It says it's a cocaine supplier. He sold the Armada and bought another Escalade because the undercovers were following everything. So I'm like, well, who told them that? The undercovers didn't know this type of information.
There's somebody snitching, obviously.
Yeah. So that's eventually, and you know what's crazy? Like all that happened, it was supposed to be done with. This dude still had stolen merchandise. 2 years later, what you doing with stolen merchandise?
And that's
still?
how he got. So he got.
So he got popped and he self-surrendered information, and that's how I became a part of the whole mix. So they started doing a roundup. Yeah, they started doing a roundup, and yeah, my name kept popping up. But once again, like I tell you, I hold no grudge on anybody because the game is the game. There's weak ones and there's strong.
And there were consequences to you. Know one day it's going to bite you. Well, you already been bitten twice by then, right?
Yeah, so by them, I already know, like, so it's just a matter of how long the game takes to pop.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. Unless you're like, it's like anything what they say. The bigger the shark, I mean, the more they're going.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I would handle things very, like I would pay everything out of pocket. You know, like my drug, my running, my anything I would pay. Because I was offered a lot of quantity, but at the same time, I'd be like, nah, you're going to chop off my head if I owe you, 10, 20, 30 keys.
Oh, you mean you didn't take anything up front. You paid cash for it.
Cash.
It belonged, once you left with it, it was yours.
Mine.
So even if you got busted or something happened, you didn't owe shit to anybody.
No.
Because those are not the type of guy you want to owe money to.
You can owe weed. You can't owe cocaine.
No. This is one thing I would have, I had some friends that sold it.
Yeah.
I stuck to weed. There's too many consequences to me, weed is a man's game. Like you're playing a game with maniacs. You're playing with a game. It's an expensive game, and you're playing with crazy people.
Yeah, the weed is it's not that. How do you say it's not that punishable, right?
Not only that, but the people that smoke weed, the people that deal that weed are not as crazy. There's not as much money in weed than there is in cocaine.
Yeah,
cocaine brings a different aspect out of people.
Yeah, and that's when I started. Look, so before I got busted, God was already tugging at my heart because I had already felt the conviction, even before being incarcerated. Check this out, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm trying to look for something that you can read. I don't want to post it, but because there's another name, but I want you to read something. And so we were here in this house. We were chilling. We were watching a boxing match.
A Mexican guy that's watching boxing. Wow, that's not stereotypical.
Right?
Were you eating tacos too?
Bro, there was a plate here full of drugs and pizza.
Drug and pizza.
But so we're here, right? It's like about 2 a.m. Everybody's chilling. It's like six of my people here, and at that time, check this out. I have 2 pit bulls. I have a red nose and I have a blue pit, and then I have a Chihuahua, and at that moment I had a girlfriend. The house it's 2 a.m. Right?
Did you just talk about your girlfriend last before your 3 dogs? I'm just messing with you.
Dogs. Hey, dogs are a pride, man.
You know what they say, huh? The only people that are unconditionally love are women and men. Are women and dogs.
Or women and dogs?
Yeah, that's the only people on this planet that are loved unconditionally are women and dogs. So I get you. We love our dogs more than we love our women sometimes.
Sometimes. Make sure it's that sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, especially that she's right there looking at me, right? No, but seriously, so you're 2:00 in the morning, 6 or 7 of your guys are here.
We're just chilling. We're strapped. Look, there's a lot of things that happen to me that now I see clearly. Back then when they would happen, I just blow it away. You don't want to entertain your mind with that.
You can't. I don't think you can manage that either. If you start asking yourself too many questions,
Then
this is where you become paranoid and things don't make sense anymore.
yeah.
Yeah,
Paranoia starts taking
Yeah,
over.
you can't.
So we're here chilling, man. You see how that first gate, the door, right?
The metal one, yeah.
Yeah. So we're here, everything's chill. We're talking just like right now. There's 3 bangs in that metal. I'm talking about bangs, bangs to where things fell off of that closet.
Yeah.
And at that moment, so I grab my pistol. I grab it and I tell my boys, open the door. What's going on? So everybody's ready. Boom. There's not one soul outside. No cars, no people, no nothing, bro.
So they just broke up. They just broke down the door.
That was prior. This just happened. There's nothing out there.
Oh, you're trying to say that it's like it was a warning.
It was a warning. That's what my mom told me.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
You didn't fucking listen though,
No. Well, 2 weeks later, guess what? Those bangs were the same bangs. When they banged, I knew it.
So that was 2 weeks.
When that
prior,
happened, 2 weeks after, they raided me.
But the bangs you're talking about happened 2 weeks prior.
Yeah,
to
with nobody being out there. You know how? Well, you see how you turn.
Yeah.
So if you're running or if you have a car, you're gonna see the lights. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, they came out in seconds. My boys came out in seconds. So boom, we running. There's nobody here, nobody there. And I'm like, what? Like,
What the fuck?
check
is
this
going
out.
on?
My dogs always warn.
Nothing.
Nothing. And I'm like, so when they raided me, it's the same bangs, but this time the pit bulls warned me. They warned me, and I'm like,
Uh-oh.
and I told my mom, what's up with those? And that's what she said. There was a warning.
It was definitely a warning.
It was a warning. It's a lot of people don't believe in, and I don't care if they don't believe in, like, you know, the spiritual realm or this or energies. Or once you start realizing and start connecting yourself spiritually and mentally, man, there's so much out there that we don't even know that I mean, it doesn't scare me, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's real, man.
But everything happens. Everything's connected. Everything happens for a reason.
Everything.
Every single person that you meet in your life has a role to play. Small, big. Maybe you have to teach them something. Maybe you're supposed to help them. Maybe they're supposed to teach you something. Maybe they're supposed to help you.
Yeah.
This is why I will entertain anybody that approaches me.
Yeah.
People tend to approach me all the time. People tend to talk to me all the time, and I'll talk. If you approach me for some reason, I'll give you the time of day.
Exactly.
Because there's something going on. I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah. That's true.
So 2 weeks later, the feds show up.
Well, yeah, everything was here. It was not a Fed charge, so it was more of a. They weren't looking for me for the drugs. They were looking for me for the thefts.
Yeah, because you got snitched on. Yeah.
But that's what really saved my ass. That they were looking for me because of the thefts.
You didn't have drugs in here.
Yeah, they found a kilo and a half in here.
Of coke? Is that a lot for charge-wise? Is there... I don't know the American law. What does...
Yeah, so... Well, a kilo is a lot. It's a lot. It's
like 10...
nearly 36 ounces. So if a kilo, you break it down, I mean, you're talking about hundreds.
No, I understand the quantity. What I mean is
That's
it a lot facing the law?
Yeah.
Like, what's the... I don't know the threshold to say under a certain amount, it's that amount of time. Under... You know, there's small possessions, and then when you have over a certain amount of drugs, they consider it... you want to traffic.
Well, yeah, of course. That's not personal use. Like you can't
No,
say,
you're oh, yeah.
yeah.
I got that because I like to sniff. Yeah, bro. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, bro. You're just an addict. An addict cannot afford a kilo of coke.
Yeah.
But how much time did you make for? How much time did you do? Because obviously you got caught for the theft, for the theft. And you got caught. Well, obviously, they added some time because you're not supposed to have a kilo of coke.
So what happened is, so it's called a system that they call it everything runs concurrent. So they pile everything up. Since I was actually being looked for the theft, that just caused to be a possession. It wasn't really. They weren't really looking for a drug dealer.
Okay, so
they
it was
were
good
looking
for you then.
thief.
So that's a blessing in disguise.
Yes. And they took the money, and I guess it played favor. I mean, everything worked out to where I thought I was going to get 20 years feds, to be honest with you. And I still wouldn't be here right now.
Oh, that means you were coming out.
17 years and a half, at least 85%.
So you were coming out at like 50 something years old.
Hey, I'm telling you, God is good. I'm telling you. I've gotten so much opportunity this time that, I mean, everything that looked the worst thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a better person no matter. I mean, it was rough, but I actually got to appreciate the life that was given to me. You know, it's every day. Like, I went through that in order for me to learn and appreciate everyone. Then by all means, it's worth it. You know? Now I see everybody as a whole. God made us equal. So now I don't favor, because we're all the same. And there's, like you say, when you talk to someone, there's something in there. Mm-hmm. And you keep conversating, you keep digging, there's something in there. Yep. Every time.
There's something beautiful.
Yeah, man. And you know, now I talk with people, and once you talk, they don't even see what you look like. You know, you make that transformation.
Yeah.
You don't wait for them to judge you. No, you put yourself to where they don't have time to judge you anymore. Once you start talking, don't matter if they're not believers. It don't matter what their belief is. They're going to understand because you make that happen.
But do you even care what other people think? See, to me,
no.
I've been judged my whole life for what I look like.
Yeah.
I'm to a point that I don't give a fuck. Because you know what I've noticed? All the people that hated on me over the years are still doing the same fucking boring job that we're doing 10 years ago. And where am I? Living my dream, traveling the US, working my companies. I have employees.
That's awesome.
And I'm the one doing what I want to do because I don't care what other people do. But one thing I wanted to, we kind of touched about it when we went to the grocery store earlier. I've talked about this off camera. I've never talked about this before on camera, but to me, somebody that can build a drug business is a business guy. He's an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You have to manage people. You have to manage customers' expectation. You have to manage relationships. You have to manage money. It's a business. It's literally a business. So now you're 41 years old. You've been out for 2 years.
2 years.
Jesus, man, you spent you spent how much time altogether? Like 12 years in prison?
11 years.
11 years.
12 years, somewhere around there.
So from your 20s to 41, you spend more than half of your life in prison. And now fuck, that's interesting. You don't do drugs.
No drugs.
You don't smoke. You drink a bit of alcohol.
A bit.
Now your dad has a kitchen business, so you guys repair.
We built custom kitchens from scratch.
And man, they're fucking beautiful. Just plug in the name of your companies if ever that works for you.
So our company is AC Custom Cabinets, El Paso, Texas, the best of the West. Yeah, man, look it up. Facebook, Instagram, AC Custom Cabinets, just to see what we do. We do everything from scratch, man-made, no mass production, no big machinery. I mean, it's a beauty, man. Now from going to the drug business and actually manufacturing something, it's a beautiful thing because you connect with people. You actually build a vision. Yeah. They say pink, you paint pink. You feel me? They say this, I want crown molding, we spice, you name it. We build, and it's so satisfying because you're actually building something that you're getting paid for. At the same time, they're really appreciating the value of what you know, and more than anything, you communicate. I love to communicate. I love to talk to people, meet new people, old, new, young, because I mean, we're all unique in a way, and you will take something with you.
Of course.
You will.
Yep.
So, I mean, by all that, that's a win-win, you know? You build, you learn, you keep learning. With woodwork, you keep learning. It's math. It's just like the cocaine business. It's math.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that the drug business you built gave you experience that you're now using to manage or to run a regular business? Personally, I don't see the difference. Personally, When I sold drugs and I look at it now, it's a fucking business. At the end of the day, I'm not surprised that today I'm an entrepreneur when I was 14 and selling drugs. To me, makes complete sense. I'm looking at both different product.
Different product. The legal product. Legal now.
But it's a different product.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, do you think that because you knew how to run people, you knew how to run a business, that it makes you a businessman? Like you, because the point you were saying earlier is that you will eventually run your dad's business. That's the whole point, is for him to finally retire and you to take over.
Yes.
Do you think your experience that you had from your drug years are actually helping you manage the business, like starting to manage the business of your father right now?
Yes. It's a must. I believe, like anything else, like how you say it, I think we have it in us. We already had it in us. It's just not, I think in our lifetime we don't pay attention. You know, it's like having training wheels as we grow older.
Yeah.
And then once you start, everything starts actually clicking. That's when you start really being in the moment of why things happen, from health to relationships to anything that you have. Everything is you. It's just that we had not paid attention of that. That was really who we are, like analytical or math or running people, manage. I thought anybody can manage a business.
That's
Evidently, it's not.
Oh no, that's
not true.
so wrong. That is
Yeah.
not. There's only a very small percentage of
know
people
what?
that can.
It's
crazy.
crazy.
It's not easy to manage people.
I know, but I thought everybody could do it.
Fuck no.
So check this out. When I get out of prison, I tell my dad, "Hey, so what's up? Something's wrong here," you know.
Yeah.
So I'm telling them that you're a great master carpenter, but you don't know how to run the business, you know.
Yeah.
And I told them, you need to teach me what you know, the science, so that I could have both. I know how to run people.
Yeah.
I just need the math from.
You need to know how to build kitchens.
Yeah, basically. So when we hire, I have to actually tell them, hey, slow your roll. Like, you know, you got to learn how to communicate with just how you communicate with your clients, you have to communicate with the people that are building your stuff. They're not just here.
They're humans. They're people. They
So
want things. They have dreams. They have.
just a little appreciation won't help. I mean, would help more than, you know, like, but again, like I'm telling you, they're old school ways and our ways is different. So what I do is I mean, you as a business too, you read people.
Oh, you have
Likes,
to.
dislikes, what I mean, you actually feel when they're uncomfortable or they really appreciate things, and that's how you have to.
But you have to talk to them.
Yeah,
You have to listen to what they have to say.
exactly.
You know, one of the first things that I do, I've hired 4 people in the past 2 months, 6 weeks. One of the first questions that I ask when I first set up a meeting with them is, what do you want to be in a year? What are your goals in 5? What are your goals, you as an individual? And don't suck up to me trying that, oh, I want to be the best video editors. No, fuck that noise. That's bullshit. I don't want to hear that. What do you want to be?
Yeah.
What are your dreams? Where do you see yourself? And I only hire people that want more.
Yeah.
My first video editor, I asked him, he's like, I want to own my own company. I want to own my own video editing company. I'm like, you know what, bro? How about this? Do the work very well, do the work. I will give you a part of my business so that you can run it for me. Mm-hmm. If that's what you want to do, I will show you what you need to do in order to get there, so that a year from now, I will not have to deal with this business. By then I'll trust you, and I will reward your hard work by giving you a part of the business that you'd be able to build by yourself, but chances are that you're not like me. Chances are that you're more of a worker, but I will give you an opportunity. Prove to me that you're worth it. I will give you the opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah. You know what that guy already did? He already found 2 new editors, and he's training them
Wow.
He talks to me the other day and he's like, by the way, when you need new editors, let me know. I'm already training 2 guys that are going to be very good. As soon as you need a new editor, you don't even need to look. So I don't need to look for another. I don't need to go through applications. I don't need to start interviewing people. The guy's just like, I got 2 guys for you. And I'm training them on the way. I do the work, like as in him.
Yeah, of course.
So now we're going to need a new editor very soon because we're starting to sign up customers to take over their video production. So I'm going to need more people and more people. That means my 2 new editors are already chosen. I already know how much I have to pay them. And they're getting trained by my senior editor that produces extremely high quality content.
And you're here in El Paso chilling.
And you know why? Because I told him that if he worked hard, I would give him a team. I would have him manage that team. I'm going to show him the side of the business that he does not understand right now because he's never done it. But I will give him.
See, that's what you're doing. You're giving him. See, you're giving him something that he yearns. You feel me? So you're giving him that opportunity.
I believe in people.
Yeah, that's the same thing that I do.
You know, yesterday was a very interesting time. Like yesterday, like I said, I normally get up very early. And yesterday afternoon, it was Friday, and I had some stuff to do, but I was exhausted. So I took a nap. I woke up, and then I'm sitting in front of my laptop, and I'm like, okay, let's start doing some work. My Facebook Messenger rings. It's a guy I haven't spoken to in probably 10 years.
Wow.
So I dropped out of school. I was 15 years old. I sold drugs. I wanted to become a rapper, so I sold drugs, and I was I was a drug addict. I was a fucking alcoholic. In 2021, went back to school. I moved back in with my mother, went back to school. I got a little college degree, and I worked in a call center. Like I helped people fix their internet services, basically.
Okay.
That guy, I was working for his team. He approached me one day. He's like, I had been working for him for probably a year now. And he's like, he saw something in me that I did not know was there. But he basically told me, start buying yourself some suits. I'm going to show you how to become a salesman. So he took it upon himself. He saw something in me. He saw the way I worked. Because I believe that work ethics, you either have it or you do not. Yeah. Nobody taught me how to work hard. I've always worked extremely hard. It's not taught. It's just the way I am. He saw that when I didn't even realize that. So he gave me my first shot. So within the span of 6 years, I was doing minimum salary to 6 figures.
Wow.
And that's all because of him. It all started because of him.
Because he believed.
Yeah, because he saw something in me that I did not know existed. Because I come from a fucked up background. I'm barely 2 years out. I was maybe 23 by then. So high school equivalency. I did a fast track college degree. 2 years before that, I was fucking selling drugs.
Yeah.
Now I'm sitting in a fucking call center making a fraction of the money I used to do. And I'm like, damn, is this what real life is, right? So now we're your dog's hilarious. Now I'm 40 years old, so 17 years later, the guy that gave me a chance calls me up. And he's like, he starts the conversation, like in his head, the conversation was already started.
Right.
He's like, hey, Nico, how you doing? I wanted to call you because I wanted to tell you what a good man is. Because if you look at my content, all I talk about day in, day out is what is a good man? What makes a good man? How do you become a good man? And he's like, I wanted to talk to you. Because he says I remind him of his grandfather.
Wow.
His grandfather was very upfront, didn't take any shit from anybody, but would tell you what you needed to hear, not what you wanted to hear. And most people don't have that in their life. So look at the full circle. That guy gave me my first opportunity, and I would not be here if it wasn't for that. God knows where I would be if it wasn't for that small opportunity that guy gave me that changed my life. Yeah. Now he's the one asking me advice.
Wow.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So who am I not to give chances to people? If I meet somebody that I see something in them that they don't even see, I have no idea if they're going to live up to their potential, because most people never do.
Right.
But I would say 90% of people that I give chances to end up disappointing me. But it's okay.
But you still, it doesn't matter.
No, but that's my nature.
Yeah.
My nature is to help people. My nature is to want you to become better. It's like earlier when you were showing me you're showing me your the design for your logo, and I've been in that world for 2.5 years now, and I'm looking at it and I'm pointing to you.
Yeah.
All the problems. I'm like, nope, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm not telling you this because I'm an asshole. I'm telling you this because I want it to be so good that when somebody looks at it, they're like, damn.
Exactly.
They don't look at it for what it is. They just see what you want them to see.
Yeah.
They don't have to try to understand what you're trying to see. They know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. But this is the beautiful thing, and this is how I manage my people. This is how I choose my people. Do you have something that is there something I can help you on that you will become better because I will give you a chance?
Right.
I want to give you a chance.
Exactly. And you have to give opportunity, just how we had opportunities.
How hypocritical it would be for me to say, to know in my heart that somebody gave me a chance. I've had 3 people in my life that gave me really solid chances that changed my life because I always take opportunities. So what type of man would I be if I did not repay? I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I am blessed. God touched me. God blessed me. I don't know what I did to deserve what I have, but I owe it to him. I owe it to the world. I owe it to myself. I owe it to other people to give them the opportunity to believe in them the way people have believed in me.
Exactly. And that's what's very important. To appreciate what other people see in us. Because like you say, a lot of the time we don't even know our true value. Like me, my fiance is the one that tells me, hey, you're worth more than this. You are who you are because you deserve it. So sometimes we don't even know that we deserve it.
No.
And she actually says, hey, like yesterday, for example, one of my employees, he had a struggle with his son, right? They caught him with cocaine in Venezuela.
So he's
so he asked me for a financial solution, right?
Yeah.
And I told my fiance, look, this is because she knows me.
Yeah.
He asked me for quite some money, and I'm like, what do you think? Because obviously now it's not just me.
Yeah.
Because now it's my
and
fiance.
she's pregnant. Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, and this is the first thing she said, I know you help people. I know it. I know it.
Wow. I'm looking at my girlfriend. That doesn't sound familiar at all, does it? Because
that's why when you told me she knows,
I didn't even need to look at her. She was looking at me. She's like, oh yeah, there you go. There's another man. There's another man like him right there.
Yeah. And so, but now I have to take under consideration. She's my.
You have different responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just gonna pull out of the bank thousands of dollars without her. You know, I mean, I'm having a child
but that's respectful.
Yeah, and so she said, I know you love helping. I know you're gonna help them, but babe, she said, not all that money. We just bought a car for me because my son's coming, and so I had already told them, let me get out of this car lot. I'm gonna go get you the money so you can help your son. And she said, whoa, chill. So actually, I love helping, but at the same time, I had to actually think about it. You know, if she wouldn't have been there, I would have gone, and she would have been like, babe, it's too much money, and what happens if things don't go that way?
You lose that money. You lose, and you'll lose that employee because you can't trust that employee anymore.
So
now you need to replace. Now you need to replace him
over something that.
And if he takes his sweet ass time to pay, then you have a grudge against somebody.
Grudge. Oh. So instead of helping, it can be more of a damaged good. So I told you know what? I'm gonna take under consideration what you said. And I actually and I don't like doing this because I like helping, but I told him, you know what? Honestly, brother. I mean, we all make decisions. Your son make that choice to be in that position.
And God knows you know what the fuck that means,
Yeah,
right?
and I told him I've been through the same thing, and I paid my dues. So, I mean, I honestly can't take myself financially and put it over
Yeah,
there when
yeah.
I'm working for my own.
Yeah.
And he understood. Thank God. He's like, because he's a Christian. So
But
he's
he
like,
but he asked. There's no shame.
No.
See, this is another thing for the listeners right now. Never be scared to ask.
no.
What's the worst that's gonna happen? No. You're in the same fucking situation that you were before.
Exactly.
But there's a chance that somebody's gonna say yes.
I believe that if I said a no, there's other 3 yeses. That's what I think. Because I don't think he reached only to me. I mean, he needed a lot of help.
So he reached out anywhere he could.
At the end of the day, things get met. God is good. Things get met.
But wouldn't you do the same thing in this situation? Like I would have asked you.
Yeah.
I'd be ashamed to ask,
Yeah.
but you got to put that ego in check and just say, you know what? You're in shit.
Yeah.
There's no problems. I don't see a problem with asking for help.
No.
You need to be
You
able
need
to
to
ask.
help.
You need to be able
You
to.
need to.
Everybody's going to need help at one point in
Yeah.
their life.
Exactly.
And I think this is might be one of the reasons why I help so much.
Yeah.
Because I understand what it is to need help because I was there.
Exactly.
I've needed help. I was blessed that some people decided to help me. I don't think I deserved that help back then.
Yeah. But
So who would I be right now if I didn't do the same?
yeah, exactly. We have to not just as a because of the bad person, because that's just the way life is. There's more giving than receiving, you know.
You have to. Yeah.
It's a given.
There's how long do you think we've been recording for?
Man, I don't even know, bro.
An
hour?
An hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. There's something I really want to ask before we wrap up, because this is, I don't really know you. Like, this is the first time we spoke for maybe 10 minutes last Sunday. I gave you my number. I told you, if you want to tell your story, I would be blessed. I would be privileged to record it. But we had the chance before we started recording. We've been chatting, like we've been here for a while now. And you said something in the truck earlier that I'd like you to talk about, and especially I think I want to kick your ass a bit on that one. You talked about wanting to help young men with your story, because a lot of things that you said earlier I don't want to say it bothers me, but it kind of hurts me to hear that you live in a society, you live in a community right now. Like, I don't know the Mexican community. Obviously, I'm not Spanish, but to you, that's normal. Like, when you were younger, that's normal. Like, what you did was normal. Going to jail because you were selling drugs is normal. You're talking about your employee's son that got caught with cocaine. Obviously, he thinks that's normal too.
Yeah.
I think you have a great story. I think personally, I'll put it on your shoulders. I strongly believe that good men have a responsibility to show young men what it is to be a man by teaching what they learned, by doing all the mistakes that they don't need to do. This, to me, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for putting you on the spot because you deserve it. But I want you to do that, because you said to me earlier that you would like to help young men. You don't have the time, which is fucking bullshit. I told you that already.
Yeah.
Because you make the time to go to the gym every day, so fuck you. You have the time to do that too. But I want you to tell me right now that you will, and it's recorded, so you'll never be able to get away with it. I want you to tell me that you will find a way to help young men, because I think it's your duty as a good man that's been through this. I think it is your responsibility as a good man to help young men not make the same mistakes you did. I think it's your duty, your responsibility. This is, in my opinion, this is why God taught you that. So I want you to say right now that you will find a way to make the time to help those young men, and I'll make you a promise right now. It's recorded. I will show you how to do it. I will help you to make that happen. But I want you to know that you're supposed to do this. I think this is why we met.
I think so. Too.
I think this is exactly why we met. You needed somebody to call your shit.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Cause a lot of people don't call people shit out. Like,
Oh,
a lot of people don't like confrontation or don't like being like, like what you said. Hey,
Yeah.
but that's bullshit. You have time.
But
I
it
do
is
have
bullshit.
time, and
But
I
it is
know it's
bullshit.
bullshit.
And I can tell you, it's going to be the most rewarding thing
I believe it.
you'll ever do in your life, because now every dumb decisions you've ever took will finally make sense. It will finally mean that you took those decisions and those mistakes, so those young men don't have to make the same mistakes.
Have to, exactly. And see, when I was, besides that, I was a little rascal back in the
But
days.
hold on, before you continue, you need to promise me that you're going to do it, because I haven't heard anything yet, motherfucker.
So yeah, you know what? Look, let me check this out real quick. I believe, like you said, that you're here for a reason. I think, and I could feel it right now in my heart, that I will commit myself to teach people like what you're telling me. If with your knowledge, if you put it on me, I will help people here in El Paso, especially my culture, like I said, or anything in general. But I believe that our culture it's the base. It's normal. It's the norm here. It's the norm to be.
You're the second guy that said that. We took a Uber the other day, and he was talking. He's from Mexico too, and he was talking, and he's describing very similar things to what a lot of things that you guys take for granted.
Yeah.
That seems to be normal, but yet that's extremely toxic.
Yeah, toxic.
Like, it's not good
dangerous.
for you. There's nothing good about doing this.
It's not. But I believe that you're here because you gave me that extra push to actually reach out to young people.
Yeah,
it's like I told you. What I went through, they need not to.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm tatted, a lot of Mexican kids, they look up to people like me and say, "Damn, he's
that's why
hardcore."
you need. But that's why.
But
you
I'm
need,
not hardcore. I got God by my side. That's why I am.
No,
who
but
I am.
that's why you need to do it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna believe. The reason why I know that me helping young men works is because of the way I look.
Yeah.
Is because of the way I speak. It's because I understand I was there. Yeah. I grew up without a father, and I know what it is not to have a father.
Yeah.
Young men that don't have a father, they can look up to me to say, you know what, I've done a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
But look where I'm at now. And this is just a beginning.
Exactly.
Where I'm going to be in a year from now is nothing compared to where I am right now.
Yeah.
But everything's possible.
Yeah.
Your mistakes don't define you. The decisions that you take after making those mistakes is what defines you as a man.
It's true. And it's what I always say, like, and I heard this once and it stuck. It says, there's not bad people in this world, there's only bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. We weren't made with bad habits. We weren't created that way.
No.
We just picked them up somewhere down the line.
Yep.
And that's why, like, since look, when I used to be a little troublemaker at a young age, and so they would take me from 6th grade and teach kids to read.
Yep.
And it's something that I was so proud because I was a little rascal, but I would tell my dad, look, Dad, this little kid's mom gave me a thank you card because I taught her son how to read in elementary.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I know everything's connecting to. I've always been that type of. Even in prison, when they would try to bully somebody that's weaker, I defend them. Hey, give him back that bag of coffee, homie. That's not yours. That's his. He bought it. Now, okay, he owes me. I don't care if he owes you. Does you owe him? No. All right. That's because I've always been that. I've always been that person. I don't like disrespecting people or being, So I protect so that they could see that they're worthy, that you don't have to be that type of person.
Who are you trying to convince, me or you?
I don't even know at this point.
It would be, again, I don't know you, but I'm very good at reading people. And I think that, no, I don't think. I know that if you don't do it, you'd be wasting your potential. Yeah. Not only are you wasting your potential, but you're wasting helping others.
And I thank God that you saw that in me, because this is
I saw that in
my
church,
gasoline.
Bro. But I saw that in church.
That's
I told you, like, as Josie, I'm that type of guy. I read people and I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to talk to that guy. I don't know why I had to talk to you.
that's crazy.
I did not think about what I was going to say. There's something that told me I needed to talk to you. I approached you. I've never asked somebody before, where did they get their faith? That never crossed my mind. It's not a question I've ever asked somebody before. I looked at you. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. And now I know your faith saved you and made you the guy that you are today. Yeah. And that same faith is going to make you help people, young men especially here.
Yeah.
Maybe to find faith, maybe to avoid the mistakes that you've done. Because you are the perfect example of what hard work can do.
Yeah. Yep. You're completely right. You're completely right. And I guess... So now here that I'm recorded, it's a must. No, but it feels good to actually have someone who does not know me believe it. That's very important because...
See it in your eyes, bro.
There's, like, you can tell a million people here, like, or anything, and people are just very... Nowadays, it's not that they're hating on you, but it's like, it's too incredible for that person to do that. Like, they always, like, no, it's not true. But if you believe it, then I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the first time that I actually get acknowledged for all the bad that I've done and say, you know what? You can actually help younger people not be that.
You are the proof.
Yeah.
You don't need to look any further than in the mirror. That's the only place you need to look is in the mirror, see the man that you are today, what you had to go through.
Yeah. And
this is such an easy sell. It's such an easy conversation for you to have. You've had it right now with somebody you don't even know on camera and on microphone. You know where I see you? I see you going to high schools. Wow. Going to middle schools and high schools and going in front of auditoriums and speaking to young men directly. Like, when they had speakers when you were in schools, mm-hmm. I see you as one of those speakers. You're a well-spoken individual. You have a way of expressing yourself and you have a look. And I would embrace that look. Like, I see you embracing it as in going exactly the way you are right now.
That's cool.
Just to say, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is what I used to be is not who I am today. But this is what I like about tattoos. Yeah. Tattoos don't lie. They're always there. You know exactly when you got them, why you got them, and in the state of mind that you were when you got them. So that when you look, you're shirtless or you're naked in front of a mirror, you're like, yup, this right. There's no lying there.
It's not, and you see yourself every day. Mm-hmm. Every day.
But I see you doing that.
Man.
I see you talking to kids.
Bless. God bless. And you know what? I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna keep that commitment, Watts.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the beginning of my new chapter.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
You know what you said? I don't know if you remember, but it's recorded. At the beginning, when we started talking, you said that you didn't know what your purpose was. Mm-hmm. You did not know what your purpose was. I didn't say anything. I didn't react to it. But you do realize that's what it is, right?
Yeah, I really do.
You know what your purpose is. Yeah. Your purpose is right there.
Yeah. A lot of times we don't want to, how do you say, you feel the purpose, but you don't want to face it.
I think the thing that I find is the most common with people coming face to face with their purpose is the imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. You know what the imposter syndrome is? Let's say that, we'll take your example. A lot of people in your situation will wonder, who the fuck am I to go in front of a crowd of young men and teach them
I got you.
Teach them how the decisions that you will take in your life can bring you to places that you can't even imagine. And most people ask themselves that question and they stop. They don't live their purpose because they do not believe in themselves enough to know in their heart that they do have the knowledge, the experience. They have what it takes to teach others to become better. So they just stop doing it. They just push it out of their mind and they just say, you know what? I can't do this. Who the fuck am I to be able to do this? Who the fuck am I to teach those people? Who am I to tell them that what they're doing is wrong? This is the imposter syndrome. It's really, who the fuck am I as a man? Why the fuck would they listen to me?
That's true. That's true.
So don't let that define who you become.
Yeah. You put it that way, that's true. That is true. Because we all, like, I'll be like, well, I could teach them, but there's probably somebody else that can do it. You know?
There's a million other people that could do it.
But not me. There's only one me.
The thing is that this is the biggest problematic. You know how many times I've read online in comments or just in videos or people telling me this? One man cannot change the world. That's fucking bullshit. That's such a bullshit excuse. What is a world? Changing 10, if you change the life of 10 young men, you changed their world. So let's say that you change the life of 10 young men. Those 10 young men become good fathers. They raise their kids right. By leadership, by association, the people around them are going to emulate what they're doing, because young men were always looking for mentors. We're always looking up to somebody. It's probably the wrong person, but we always want somebody to look up to, because we need to be taught. As men, we need to learn from something. Somebody needs to teach us what it is to become a man.
Yeah.
If we don't have a good father figure, if we don't have a strong masculine figure, we are going to look what we believe is strong. So imagine that you change the life of 10 young men. Those 10 young men change the life of another 10. That's 100 people that you've affected. Then those 100 people change the life of another 10. That's 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people teach another 10. That's 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And it started with what? You.
With me.
All you know is that 10 years from now, you might have impacted the life of 1,000 kids. Imagine those 1,000 kids impact the life of another 10. That's 10,000. That's 100,000 afterwards. And it's 1 million. You impacted indirectly the life of 1 million young men. Just because you took a decision one day to say, I will use my life experience, what I've been through, to change the life of others so they don't make the same mistakes as I done.
That's true. Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I already see those schools. I used to go to, in El Paso, I used to go to Bowie High School.
Are they still in existence?
Yeah.
Do you think they remember you?
Well, check this out. So I was talking to my cousin, right? He works for us now. And he used to go to Bowie High School. He's a little bit younger than me. And they say, so the principal, when he was there, he said, your last name is Kano. I said, yeah. Are you related to Aldo Kano? He said, yeah, that's my cousin. Oh, boy, he said, we had your cousin on the blacklist. Yeah, that's how bad I was. But now I feel it in my heart that I think I could give to that high school again. And
is that principal still alive?
He is still alive. I don't know if he's still the principal there.
No, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
You know you know all you had to do? Can you imagine contacting that guy, that old principal of yours that still remembers you to this day? Sitting down for a coffee with him or a beer, whatever, and just explaining to him what happened to you.
Yeah.
And then telling him where you are right now and what you know that your purpose is. I guarantee you that guy would help you make it happen.
I believe you. Because
he's known you. He saw where you come from. Imagine sitting right now, shaking his hands and just saying, I want to take this opportunity to just tell you about what I've done and who I am now and what I want to do. I guarantee you, if his intent is to help students, even if he's not a principal, I guarantee you he knows who's the principal now.
Yeah.
And that's the type of connection that can make you be in front of those kids. You said you were good at creating connections.
Yeah.
This is a talent that most people don't have. What's the difference between creating a connection through drugs or creating a connection through a principle that might be able to help you be in front of kids and helping them change their lives?
I think this moment right here is a very eye-opener for me. And like you say, there's a purpose, and I think that's the purpose. You saw it in me, and I'm going to make it happen. Because right now in this moment, I feel that as I talk about it, it's the truth. It's the truth. If I can help one, then that's more than enough.
It's a domino effect right there, man. Plus, you're going to have a boy.
Oh, baby Jesus. Yeah.
Okay, what would be... Think about this. Like, let me try to blow your mind for a second. Imagine your son 10 years from now. He doesn't know who you are. He'll know when he's older. Maybe you'll share it with him. Can you imagine how proud your son would be of you as a father, that your life goal is to help young men become better?
Yeah.
Can you imagine your son growing up, looking up to you on stage, helping young men become better using your life experience?
Yeah, it's life-changing. That's life-changing. And now, at my age, having my son, it's when I was young, I wouldn't think like a parent, and now it's crazy. So like, now that he's gonna be here soon, I don't want him to be the person So now I have everything that I went through, like you say. Now I'm gonna teach him not to be that person because I've been through it. So I'm gonna be his book to say this is not what a man does. This is what a man is created to be. So, man, it's powerful. It's very powerful now.
Is there an hour and a half, brother? Is there something you want to say in closure? Is there whatever you want to say? Just say it, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who we are, what we are, ethnicity or anything. Just the best thing to do here now in this world is to see everybody as one, to be not judgmental, but more of the understanding, to always listen and more than anything, a lot of believe in yourself more than anything. In order for you to succeed, you must believe in yourself. There's no other. If it doesn't matter if a lot of people are against your belief, at the end of the day, it's really what you sleep with your own, whether good or bad. There's choices to be made, but always know that the better person you can be, it affects everybody around or with you or without you. You always change. There's always change every day. Every day is change, and whatever you were, you can always change. You can always create on a daily basis. Always create. Things happen for a reason, and it doesn't matter if you're not religious or not. There's the higher power. There's another you inside that is way better. You just gotta look for it. Always believe, pray, and you'll change. It changes. I thank you for this opportunity. Man, it's mind blowing. It's very interesting how when you actually talk, it molds you for a little bit more of who you really are, you know. But
let's leave it like exactly. Let's stop it right there. Thanks for having us. Thanks for receiving us in your house, and I'm very curious to see what the future holds for you, brother.
we'll keep in touch.
Oh, fuck no. I have no doubt about that. So on that note, peace out.
All right.
You've been listening to the Nico Lagan Show. Nico has been involved in the martial arts for 20 years. He's a Muay Thai coach, focus coach, podcaster, and sought-after public speaker. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we hope you've gotten some useful and practical information. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Coach Nico Lagan and on YouTube at The Nico Lagan Show. See you next time.